What's happening? What's going on? What it do? Everybody, it's Tuesday. OG Tuesday Tantrum. I'm your boy, the OG, Mr. Wide, aka the AAU Slapper. How's everybody doing, man? You know, we gonna keep y'all long, man. We're just gonna get into a few things. You know, continue a little conversation, previous subject. You know what I'm saying? And talk a little bit about your fingernail polish boy over there in Chicago doing fingernail polish things. Um, you know, you know what I'm saying? You ain't missing nothing they say. I'm just getting started, man. Just getting started. You know, just off the jump, you know, this fan base. And I've been, you know, looking and watching and seeing, you know, the topics, you know, after Sunday's 3-point loss, off the missed kick, and you know, people are running around here acting like this, you know, acting like this 3-point loss was a 30-point blowout. You know, I don't get the mindset of this Atlanta sports fan base. I mean, everything is overblown, over exaggerated. You know, you go in this fan base, man. You look more for stuff to complain about than, you know what I'm saying, looking at both sides of the rainbow, if you will. This fan base spends a whole lot of time looking for more negative shit, you know, than they look for positives or even optimism or potential. You know what I'm saying? You know, just like I said yesterday, there's a lot in that game that happened. There was this, you know, that left, you know, the optimistic taste in my mouth. You know, on both sides of the ball, really. On both sides of the ball. I mean, but to sit up here and you're acting like, you know, a loss is a loss, true. But you know, if you would listen to some people around, you know, I talking to guys on the bus this morning, you would think we lost by 30 instead of by 3. You know, listen to people talk. You know, and I said when you look at Baker's stat line, he had 3 TDs. I mean, but he only threw for 168 yards on 37 attempts. That's 16 completion. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's still the same old. You know, everybody's around here crying about sex. Well, there were 6 QB hits. There was plenty of pressure. You know, should have had 4 sacks. You know what I'm saying? But even bigger than that, I think the drop interceptions is a bigger issue than the completed sacks. I do. I'm talking about in hand. We had 4 INTs in our hand. And I think that's a bigger issue than, you know what I'm saying, the 4 missed sacks. Me myself, I mean, I don't, you know, that's just, you know, I don't get to the perception, you know, and all of this nagging and whining and crying about the sex. Y'all do realize them four drop picks were 4 more possessions for the offense. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Ted, what's up? It's a fact we should have won the game, but we lost the same way we did last season and don't seem like nothing changed. I mean, we beat we beat Tampa on last year. Yeah. I mean, but I you know the wide right, all right, it happened. I mean, but them 4 drop picks, man, I think it's a bigger issue than these sacks that everybody. Now, we did all this high draft picks and it nothing. Really? I mean, that to me, the 4 drop picks is a bigger issue than anything that happened yesterday, including the subpar offensive play calling. I think the 4 drop picks are a bigger issue than anything. That's just me. This is my perception. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, there were 4 drop picks. There were 4. I'm talking about in hand. See, Bowman, Hughes, X, and AJ had 2 of them in their hand. You know what I'm saying? But all I'm seeing across the board is everybody, nagging about sacks. Okay, we're talking 4 or 5 potential extra possessions. That's a bigger picture to me. It's just a bigger picture to me. You know what I mean? You know, just the mindset, man, it'd be funny as hell to me. How overblown and exaggerated everything is. You know what I'm saying? You're out here whining and crying for Ted Frontenot's job because our 2 top picks didn't get any sacks in the game. But then if you go back and you look at the game and you look at all of JPJ, all of Pierce's snaps. I mean, he was winning his matchup. He was collapsing his side. I mean, just saying. And Walker had a couple of hits in the run game. I mean, and then, like I said, there was pressure. There was pressure. There was some stunts that were where there were, missed tackles on the quarterback. But there was pressure gotten, disruption in the backfield, some QB hits. We just didn't close the deal on the 4 potential sacks that could have and should have been had. But like I said, the bigger defensive issue to me is the drop interception. Nothing else that happened negatively defensively outweighs the 4 drop picks, the drop interceptions to me. That's just my mindset on it. That's the way I'm looking at it from the standpoint that I'm looking at it, my perception. I mean, but other than that, it was a typical NFC South game. It was mucked up. You know what I'm saying? It just a slob knocker, a hitter. You know what I'm saying? A typical NFC South game. You know what I'm saying? A missed field goal was the difference. The missed field goal was different, and people acting like we got blowed out by 30. I don't understand that mindset. That right there, ATL. You know what I'm saying? I mean, those dropped interceptions, if they are made, we're talking about 4 or 5 possessions where we probably would have and could have put some points on the board. But I mean, this fan base don't seem to think like that or feel like that. I mean, what I'm saying? It's just it's crazy to me, you know, how you you could take a whole bunch of negative and forget about the positive, forget about the potential, and just don't even acknowledge the silver lining. You know what I'm saying? That's just weird. It shout out to me. You know it's a weird way of thinking, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but it is what it is. People gonna think and have the mindset that they have and think how they want to think. You know, it is what it is. Yeah. You know, everybody that saw Monday Night Football game, you know, Miss Thing the third had a whole lot of fingernail polish all over that game. You know, I had to run, making a few runs in them stilettos. He said, but what I did notice on the flip side of that, outside of Caleb Williams and all of that there, I think there are some things that we can capitalize on against them Vikings, against JJ. I think so. I think we'll be able to. Mm-hmm. Wait, what's that? Let's say ATL could have been like that Ravens loss, which was way worse than what we. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. um, um, for the most part, what Jefferson was rather quiet in that game. He was rather quiet. I mean, he had them three big catches in the second half, but for the most part he was rather quiet in that game. It took Minnesota run game a little bit to get rolling. I mean, but JJ almost threw their heads into a loss. I mean, that pick six was horrendous. Um, but I think that going in next Sunday night, there's some things defensively I think we're going to be able to do, and offensively too. It's a possibility we might not have Drake. I can see us holding him out with that shoulder strain. But even with that, I mean, we got bodies in that receiver room where we can do, do some things and move around. But I think that against JJ McCarthy, I think that we could do some things. You know what I'm saying? I think Brick he could do some things with the defense against JJ. Based on what I saw on Monday night, and then what I saw, when I was going back and checking it out and rewinding it and looking at it, especially in that third quarter, I saw some tendencies in that Minnesota offense that I think that we can capitalize on. based on some of the things that we were doing, especially on the back end. You know, I mean, when he puts them gifts up there, we got to hang on to him. I say that much, you know what I'm saying, about that. I definitely say that much about that. You know, you know, it just my, mindset, because there's a lot of potential on our defense that was on display, and I think that will can progress over into next week, and there's some things that we could do a little bit better on, getting home on the sacks, wrapping up on the sacks a little bit better, not running our stuff out of the play, keeping contained better, things of that nature. You know what I mean? You know, but Chicago basically gave that game away big time. They did. And I think that if we do a couple of things better, we can hold Minnesota to 17. And make it do what it do. On that aspect, I think our strategy on our run game gonna have to be a little bit better, But I think that what I'm saying, we can get some things done. I saw some tendencies and some keys. What I'm saying. Watching JJ McCarthy, and I feel like what I'm saying, we can capitalize on that. With what we got on our back end, and how we were able to, what I'm saying, we made some good defensive, plays against the pass underneath. I saw where we got better at that. Off of last season, because we were god awful underneath against most teams. I mean, but that right there, just scouting a little bit and seeing what I saw in that game from Minnesota on both sides of the ball. I think we come in and we play good disciplined football. I think we can come out of Minnesota, with that W. I think so. I'm not over the top, mashing the panic. I'm not pushing the panic button like everybody else is doing, all over the top. I believe that this season is a process. Every week is going to be a process. You really have to take stock in, we are one of the younger teams in the league, for sure. You know what I'm saying? So I think the talent is there. I think, what I'm saying, you do the film work and do the work in practice and get your, get the communication down to it, what I'm saying, to a science. I think, I think we're gonna be fine, man. Honestly, I do. I think we're gonna be fine. It'd been one thing if, what I'm saying, we lost 23-3. What I'm saying? We lost about missed field goal. Right? Loss is a loss. I mean, but folks out here acting like we lost by 30. There was some frustrating points, what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's a process. And I think they'll get better next week. That's just my mind's eye on it, my thought process on that, Yeah. Like I said, I wasn't gonna hold y'all long, what I'm saying? Just little thoughts, Tuesday thoughts, what I'm saying, and little things on my mind. And I'm just saying, especially that boy up there about Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? In crunch time, and you don't lead your team on the field for that 4th and 3. I got a little hit your spaghetti up in crunch time. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, people. I'm just saying. The mark. All of the expectations, the standards that were set by you all's thought process on a certain quarterback that used to be here. And I'm using what that K Style say, the Matt Ryan rule of standards. Yeah. Now next week rolled around and he's out there on the field, what I'm saying, doing his usual bad Barry Sanders impression. I'm like, what's really happening? What the question's gonna be? I mean, was you scared? Was you scared of the moment? Was you scared of the moment? Yeah, 4th and 3. You go over there, go over there and sit your ass on the bench and wrap yourself up. And, feel a little pull in my hamstring. Was you scared of the moment? Because if it ain't no reports coming out, I mean, there ain't been no medical reports, there ain't been no treatment, none of that. I'm just saying, cramps are the mark of a leader in Raven Nation. Y'all letting that walk? Y'all cool with that? Y'all cool with that? In crunch time? In that game? Against that team? After Josh Allen done carved your boys up like Swiss cheese. They carved your boys up like Swiss cheese. And on 4th and 3, you walk off the field? In crunch time? You that guy, right? You know what I'm saying? You're that guy. You Speedy Gonzalez, you know what I'm saying, the quarterback position. You know what I'm saying? You Vic 2.0. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Greatest thing since sliced bread. You walk off the field at crunch time on 4th and 3. You're rolling off into Anthony Richardson territory right now. I'm just saying, it's not a good look. It's not. Hard pump Kool-Aid. You was at the crib in your stadium, on your field, in crunch time. Where's the advanced metrics for that? Where's the signature moment for that? In big games, in the big game, yeah, to start the season off against the team that sent you home in the playoffs, and on 4th and 3 in crunch time, you walk your ass on off the field. I don't get that. I don't get that. ATL said Yep, ain't looking good for the Ravens. That's. I mean, you know, for the elite quarterback that he is, that there's a good portion of the football fan community that think he's God's gift to the quarterback position. I'm just saying from a leadership standpoint, and I'm if I'm in that locker room with that guy right there after that, I'm asking, is this the motherfucker that we want to go in the foxhole with? Is it? Just saying, man. I'm just saying that ain't an elite look. Okay, that's not an elite mindset to walk off the field on fourth and three in crunch time, and you needed that drive to continue. I mean, somebody tell me when I'm looking at it wrong. Just I'm just I'm trying to understand. Is that the mark of a leader? Is that the mark of an elite football player? I'm just. These are the questions that need to be answered about that guy, and his elite quarterback status. I mean, this is where y'all. This is what y'all be pumping. He gets it done in the regular season. Right? Well, look like he was a little scared of the moment there. Look like it's hard to pump Kool-Aid in that situation. I mean, but hey, man, shoot. All right, I'm just a citizen. I'm just a fan. I'm just a fan. I'm just giving my observation on said situation. I don't know. Maybe he had a toothpick in his thigh or something. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just saying, if any other quarterback was that, I mean, y'all breaking the internet, letting it know how you feel, calling them punk, anybody. I'm just saying. But this guy gets a pass. No, man, he was hurt. Man. Really? Was he hurt? Because he was in a half-ass jog, little semi-trot, little walk off the field. 4th and 3 in crunch time. You know what I'm saying? The way they run the ball. You trying to tell me you couldn't snap that thing, turned around and handed it off to King Henry for them 3 yards? Or a bootleg play action? You mean tell me he couldn't pull that off? All right. Okay. I'm just saying. It's just not a professional football, pro football quarterback good look. It's not. What? It wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? When one phase of the team falls, the other phase picks them up. You know what I'm saying? The best offense in football that some of y'all tell it. You gonna give that guy that was cross field, you're gonna give him the ball back right now. knowing you need that possession. You give that guy the ball back to go win the game. Okay. All right. Okay. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. you already know sports TW the week tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. Him and Harbaugh. You gonna put the ball right there? You gonna get that guy across the field that's been carving y'all up in the fourth quarter. You gonna give him back the ball. You and your star athlete quarterback gonna get Josh Allen back the ball, and he will tear y'all ass up in the fourth quarter. Okay. All right. It is what it is. I think hard pump Kool-Aid myself. I think that ass was scared of the moment. And how about you, Cramping? So you couldn't go over there and have them throw some tape on that thing and wrap it up real tight and like there for that play? Okay. All right. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Like I said, I'm gonna hold y'all long, man. It's just a couple of things to talk about a little bit. You know, just a little conversation, put some on your mind. Everybody else, you're having your around Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, having this conversation about that there. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, man, you know what I'm saying? Look, Tuesday, heading in the hump day tomorrow. Y'all roll over and check out the Lady Birds later on this evening. You know, who probably else will probably be doing a little something, but you know what I'm saying? Check me out tomorrow. We can win sports tea. Me and the guys, franchise, Young Knight will be back. And that thing, talking about the Atlanta Falcons offense. And sports tea dumb of the week series. Of course, Braves report by Mrs. Styles. Yes. Hopefully, son, you'll be on as well. I'll stay tuned for that. But hit that like button for me, man. You know what I'm saying? AT, I appreciate you for talking with me. You know, always a pleasure. Hey, man, look at him. Got to keep it A. Got to keep it dirty. Most notably, got to keep it real with yourself. That next choice be the best choice. It's your boy OGBigsam, Mr. White Network. And I'm out. Holla.